Welcome! In a previous video, we explored how to use CODAP Sampler plugin to generate data from a simple model of a carnival duck pond game. Here is our model that simulated a pond with 10 ducks, where 20% were labeled win and 80% were labeled lose. Each player drew 3 ducks with replacement, and we simulated 50 players to estimate how often prizes were won. In this model, we used a single device to represent all 3 draws. In this video, we'll build on the same idea by modeling the duck pond game in a slightly more complex way. One reasonable choice a student might make when modeling this scenario is to use 3 separate devices, one to represent each draw of a duck. I can use this button to add a device, and then add one more, so I have 3 devices in total to represent each draw. I'll add balls to each new mixer so that each device represents picking one duck from the pond, and I'll label the devices draw 1, draw 2, and draw 3. Students may also make different choices about how to represent the random process itself. For example, one device could be a mixer and another could be a spinner. I can switch this middle device to be a spinner, and now I see the same 80-20 split represented visually. I can adjust the probabilities either by clicking and dragging the divider between the wedges, or clicking directly on a wedge and editing the percentage. Students may also realize that they can represent the same 80-20 split using fewer objects. For example, instead of 10 balls, I could use just 5. I can change this mixer by clicking on the 3 dots under the device and typing in what I want each ball to say using commas to separate the entries. Even though these devices look different, they represent the same underlying model of having an 80% chance of losing and a 20% chance of winning. This is a great opportunity to talk about equivalent models with your students. Even though the devices look different, and even though they're organized in different ways, they all represent the same probability distribution. I want to ask the question, after randomly choosing 3 ducks, what are the chances of winning a prize for all 3? I'll run this simulation to model 50 players. Because we now have 3 devices, setting the item to 1 will simulate one player drawing 3 times. So I will set the item to 1 and collect 50 samples to represent the 50 players, and click Start. To answer this question, I am going to create a new measure to count the number of wins. In the last video, we used the Measures tab here to create a measure. Just a quick reminder that when you use the Measures tab, the new measure will be created at the sample level. Because we have 3 devices and I want to know what happens at the item level, I'm going to instead create this measure directly in the table at the item level, which also gives me a little bit more flexibility. I can choose to add this measure at the item level by clicking this plus sign here. I'll label this measure prize, and then edit the formula here. I want to count the number of wins across all 3 draws, which I can do using count, like this. Now I can graph this new measure. When prize is treated as categorical, I can display it as a bar graph. From this graph, I can quickly see how many simulated players won 0, 1, 2, or 3 prizes. Next, I want to illustrate how to use conditional logic when designing a model with multiple devices in the sampler. So let's change the rules of the game slightly. Suppose the carnival workers decided they're handing out too many prizes, so they changed the rules so that the game ends as soon as a player picks a winning duck. A player picks a duck. If it says win, the game stops, and the player gets a prize. If it says lose, the player can pick another duck for a maximum of 3 draws. This is where the conditional logic becomes important. Now I'll update my question to, after up to 3 tries, what is the likelihood that a player wins a prize? We could calculate this theoretically, or we can run the simulation many times to estimate this likelihood. To model this, I'll keep my 3 devices, one for each possible draw. The first device, draw 1, always runs because every player gets at least 1 draw. The second draw, however, should only happen if the first draw was a loss. I can control that using the logic box here. I'll tell CODAP to only run draw 2 if draw 1 equals lose. Note that the variable name must match exactly and it can't contain spaces. That's why I've named the variable draw1 without a space rather than draw space 1. I'll do the same thing for the third draw. Draw 3 should only run if draw 2 equals lose. Now the structure of the game is built into the model itself. CODAP will only move on to the next device if the player hasn't already won. I'll clear the data from the previous simulation, keep items set to 1, collect 50 samples to represent 50 players, and start the simulation again. I'll also change the formula for the prize measure I created earlier to better help me answer the question posed. Now, there are a number of ways to write this formula to see if a simulated player won a prize or not. But since the game stops as soon as a player wins, I know the only way a player does not win a prize is if all 3 draws are losses. That means draw 3 must be lose. So I can write the formula using an if statement. I might also want to know how many draws a player has on average, so I can add a new attribute called draws like so. If draw 1 was a win, then I know my player only had 1 draw total because the game ends. Otherwise, they drew again. If the second draw was a win, then I know my simulated player must have had only 2 draws and the game ended after the second draw. Otherwise, if neither draw 1 nor draw 2 was a win, then my simulated player must have drawn 3 times. Now I already have a graph for my attribute prize, but I can also graph my new attribute draws. Looking at the number of student draws, I can use the ruler on the graph to add the mean number of draws and see how many times players drew on average. There are a number of other measures and features in this menu I could use to customize my graphs. By using multiple devices and conditional logic, we've created a model that more accurately reflects the rules of the game. This kind of structure is especially useful when modeling real-world processes where later events depend on earlier outcomes, and it opens the door to much richer simulations. As you continue exploring the sampler, we encourage you to experiment with more complex logic, additional branches, and different modeling choices to represent even more realistic situations.